On a cold, brisk January morning, you awake with a slight grumble in your stomach, a hunger for something sweet, tasty, something tangy and marvelous that will have you striving for more. Or maybe it's a casual Sunday evening, and you feel like trying something new for a change. Your taste buds crave for a grasp of a breakfast masterpiece that shall fill your stomach for hours to come. You may think that I am speaking of some delightful bacon, or possibly a beautiful, picturesque platter of pancakes. But no, ladies and gentlemen, I am only speaking of a German-French invention that in my own aspect is certainly better than some boring pancakes. The magnificent crepe. Therefore, I, Rhett Petersen, have taken the duty to teach you step by step how to whip up some beloved homemade crepes for yourself. Before we get to the magnificent taste of these out-of-this-world crepes, we obviously must make them first. However, before we get to start, you must get your most important item out, and that is, of course, your apron. Today I will be rocking this magnificent Australian apron, just with some basic kangaroos and some fancy floral design, or that's not floral, whatever, some fancy design. And just like that, we are ready to go. It's a bit small, but it's fine. Alright, so the basic ingredients which will be necessary to make the crepes include 2 cups of flour, 4 large eggs, 1 cup of water, as well as 1 cup of milk, 4 tablespoons of butter, which is to be melted later, as well as half a teaspoon of salt. Now, the recipe which I typically use makes anywhere from 8 to 10 crepes, so if you would like more, you can simply double or triple or multiply the recipe by however many times you would like, really to any extent and whatever your heart shall really desire. You'll want to start the creation of your batter by mixing in your 4 large eggs along with your 2 cups of flour in a medium to large sized mixing bowl. Just add in the flour, set that aside, and then grab the whisk as well. Oh, gee whiz. Crack your eggs in here. Now don't judge me, I'm no professional, thank you. Maybe I'll be. 4 eggs in flour, and then just whisk it all together. Now I'm very talented at making messes. It just comes by my lifestyle and my trade, so there may be more than one mess occur. Maybe a fork would be better. Simply, if your whisk is not working too well, you can just, use a fork as well to gather in that loose stuff which you can't always grab with a whisk. Now, once you've whipped those up and mixed them together, you're going to want to add the water and the milk next to our already made mixture of eggs and flour. But while you put them in, you're going to want to make sure you add them in gradually while you are stirring to allow them to mix real well and get that nice mixture going. So here is 1 cup of water. And 1 cup of milk, good old 1%. swirls with the old spatula here. So following the milk and water, and you are quite satisfied with your mixing skills and your mixture so far, you're going to want to add your salt and your butter to the mixture next. So just 4 tablespoons of melted butter here. And then just a little bit of salt, just about half a teaspoon. Now you may have to add water or flour to your mixture in order to reach the desired consistency. You're looking for a consistency that's just a little more, just much runnier than your typical pancake batter, but not too runny. Possibly something just a little thicker than your typical vegetable oil or canola oil. And basically just add a little bit of flour if you want to thicken it up, or add a little bit of water in order to thin it out, and it won't require much at all. But just make sure that you stir it very well when you do so. Once you've reached your desired consistency, as I believe mine is quite well, just right out of the get-go here, we can get on to the cooking part. Alright, moving on to the cooking part. To cook your crepes, you will simply need a frying pan with the area of the base approximately the size of what you want your crepes to be. You're going to want to take your pan and place it on a stovetop and set it to a temperature on about medium to high heat. You want your pan to be quite hot so that it cooks the crepes at a good speed, but not too hot that it will burn them. So once your frying pan has reached the desired temperature, which is not on yet, don't worry, you're going to want to take a little bit of butter and place it in the middle to allow the pan to be greased well. The goal of why we're making our crepes is to place the batter in the pan and spread it out thoroughly across the whole base to ensure that it is completely covered. In order to do that, we're going to have to do a simple swirling motion to allow it to be spread out and touch all the edges of the pan. So when you place the batter in the pan, you're going for about 1/4 cup of the batter for each and every crepe. However, depending on the size of your pan itself and the consistency of your batter, that amount will change, and so you just have to be prepared to do so. So we will now just turn on the heat and wait for it to heat up. Now, once your pan is nice, plenty and hot, you can add your butter in. So we'll just take our butter here and put it on the pan. A little bit of melty there. Give it a swirl to mix it all around. So once your butter is melted, we can take our spatula out of here, out of our batter, and give it a quick swirl and just pour about a 1/4 cup into the pan, like that. And then you're going to want to give it a swirl around in order to mix the batter to all the edges. Well, in an attempt to reach it to all the edges. And so that may look like this. Nice crepe along the bottom of the pan. Now our focus of the crepes, again, is to make it as thin as possible, but allow it to reach the entire surface of the pan so that it's as big as possible at the same time. So if you recognize if your batter's too thick or too thin, you can simply add water or add flour, or you'll have to maybe adjust considering your pan size in order to make sure you make the crepe properly. So now we'll just allow the crepe to cook and sit for a little while, and it won't take very long until it reaches the desired, beloved golden brown. And so once you reach your desired coloring on the opposite side, you can just give it a simple flip, like so. A little bit of burn in the middle bit there, but that's all right. We'll just have to add maybe a little extra sweetener to that to make it better. Now we will just allow the other side to cook until that is reasonably similar to this side as well, and then we will take it off and put it onto a plate and start the process all over again. Alright, and once both sides are cooked really well, we will just simply take it out of the pan and place it on a plate. And there's still a bit of grease here left over from that one, so we can take our batter once again, add it to the pan, swirl it around. It's probably the most tricky part of this whole operation. And there we are. Now it'll take a lot of practice in order to place the batter in the pan and being able to spread it around to all the edges and make it as thin as possible at the same time, which will take a lot of practice, and I'm certainly not very good at it, but I think with some practice it's, you can figure it out and it'll be alright. Now, nice and golden brown on the other side here, we'll give it a flip. And there we are. And just like that, we have got a marvelous plate full of delicious homemade crepes. And typical to my own actions, I made a huge mess, no surprise there. Now to eat these, some of my own favorites and some of my family's favorites is you fill them with whatever you would like and then roll them up. And whatever you would like usually consists of anywhere from cinnamon, honey, peanut butter, different types of syrups. Big favorite of mine is ice cream and many, many other options. And you don't always only have to do breakfast. You can eat these at any time of the day, including any dinner type meals where you can put ham and cheese and different chicken and all different assortments of meats which you would enjoy. As well as you can use them as tortillas in order for you to eat tacos or any other type of wrap which you may wrap up. And so if you decided to make these as well, thank you. Hope you rather enjoy them because I know I do, and I know that my family does as well. Thank you.